Oh, g'day there, and welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. As always, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching the rugby league. My name is Manaia Stewart. I'm joined in studio this fine Monday afternoon by Dai Henwood. Good morning, Dai. Good afternoon, rather.
Good afternoon. I did a rewatch of the game. I thought I wasn't going to, but I did. I did my Monday morning catch up on the bits and bobs I've missed, and then sort of just put that game on and got transfixed, and it wasn't better the second time.
I was just going to say this. I did the exact same thing this morning. I was at the game, and about 20 minutes into it, whenever they scored their second try, the Eels, I was like, I can't do this, and I turned my back on the game. I was treated to some corporate hospitality, so I hit the buffet pretty hard.
I have to say, we were commentating, looking directly at, I suppose, the older school fans, just under the coach's box. Yeah. And that's the first time in a while I've seen a straight-up walkout from that section.
Yeah, really.
It was just tough viewing because I was getting nervous when we had about 10 to 15 minutes on their line and just couldn't score.
Yeah.
Then they scored 3 times the next 3 times they got the ball.
Yes, yeah, they did. And for me, it was the way they scored those tries as well. It just looked like they just ghosted straight through gaps out on our edge defence. And when you're at the game, I was saying this, I think, on the Agenda podcast this morning, but when you're at the game, you know, the crowd roars for our tries, but there's no reaction when they score. And so it's just dead silent, and you're all sort of sitting there with your own thoughts like, damn, what happened there?
That Jake Tungo try, I think the first one, that was a beautiful play.
Oh, yeah.
But then the next 2 were just
straight through.
One-on-one misses. This is where we really miss Rocco Berry, who is the best one-on-one tackler in the comp.
Yeah, oh, for sure. We talk about like the best defenders in the comp. He's been one of them. And, you know, I know we go on about the injuries, but it is real. We are the most injured squad in the competition. But even then, it's like, it's just the way they were coming through. If you didn't watch the game and you only saw the scoreline at the end, you could be tricked into thinking that it was a much closer game than it was. We laid on, I think, about 16 points in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, like it was looking very grim. Yeah. Then they got sin bin, and then we just ran the numbers on that side.
Yeah.
And it's weird, we played with so much urgency towards the end.
I know.
But it seemed so casual in the
first 74 minutes.
First 74 minutes. And when I watch other games, our kicking game just doesn't seem on point.
They're often for no one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit shapeless, like you're not picking out a guy and just being like, right, we're going to bomb DWZ's corner, or, you know, we're dribbling it into the goal for this or that. You're right, it's like we're just kicking because you have to kick on the last. And I think we've had that for the entire season, haven't we?
Yeah, no, I was running some numbers again to try and get a mathematical prediction of if we can make the 8. And we sort of technically could, but what's hurting us is all those teams that were around us last year have suddenly got a lot better. Dogs, Manly, even
Dragons,
Titans, Dragons beating Melbourne. And shout out to Melbourne making the 8 14 times in 14 years.
That's ridiculous.
And the Warriors making the 8 9 times in 30 years.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
it's not a fun stat.
Nah, it's not. And when you're watching how, because, you know, I was doing all the math as well before this game came in. You know, we got the bye in the last round, so it's like, do you add that to our tally now? Then if we win this one, you could conceivably convince yourself we're in the top 8. It gets dire now. We can still make it if we rattled off 4. But after watching that game, like you said, the replay, it felt even worse. That is not a team that's about to rattle off 4 games in a row to go into the finals, is it?
No, and we've got heavyweight games. Dolphins, Bulldogs, Sharks, and Seagulls. Is it Seagulls?
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And they're all form teams.
Yeah.
I mean, that Bulldogs team, they're having a year we had.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
It's interesting because I look at the Bulldogs. We're very similar, right? Webby came in to take over from us the same time Cam Serraldo took over there. he had a shocker last year, but that's because they completely rejuvenated their squad.
Well, we got them all. Montoya, DWZ.
And so they sacked a lot of players, and they've now got an exact squad they want. We bought thinking this year was the year we're going to win the premiership.
Big time.
We've got Ryan Hoffman. I was listening to the Wars Up TV guy. He made a good point. Sorry, not Ryan Hoffman, Kurt Capewell.
Yeah.
He made a good
Very
point.
Ryan
He
Hoffman,
said Kurt Capewell is a real Ryan Hoffman type purchase.
Yeah, he is.
Where he's not doing anything wrong, but he's not going to break the game open.
No. And I just think it was like the Kurt Capewell thing was like anytime you got an opportunity to sign Kurt Capewell to your rugby league franchise, you do it. Also, on top of that, there was the Penrith sort of Webby Capewell situation. But you're right. I don't know if it was what we needed. Although I don't really know how the salary cap works in the NRL.
I
There's no
also
reason not to
wonder
sign him.
whether we miss Justin Morgan
Yeah,
in the
perhaps.
coaching.
Yeah.
I can't. Nothing. There's nothing I can put my finger on. It's going to be sad to see Jazz go.
Yeah, for sure.
He.
I don't think he and I were going to become fast friends anytime soon, unfortunately.
But it was like he had just got the errors out of his game. He had just got a lot of the penalties out of his game. Then he's being let go. We're obviously banking on a lot of these young guys, but they need game time.
I think you're right. Serraldo's got the club that he wants over at the Bulldogs. I think we need to give Webby time to get the kinds of player, because there is a kind of player he wants, and I think we need to give him time to get them. And God, knock on wood, we can keep them on the park. We're going to talk very shortly about how.
Have we signed anyone for next year aside from James Fisher-Harris?
We have signed James Fisher-Harris. None that I've.
No big names, or
No big names, but I do think. I reckon there's another couple of shots to be fired. But just on the weekend, I can't get past the fact that they're second from the table. And I know that on paper the Eels are actually better than how their season has gone, but they're missing some big players as well. Mike Acevo, Mitch Moses. There's all sorts.
Yeah, they
of
didn't
dudes.
have their starting halfback. 5'8", sir.
Why am I forgetting the props name, Junior Polo?
Yeah.
So, there's all these guys out for them. But still, just to lose to the second last place team on the ladder is a real heartbreaker for me. And I don't think that it builds the kind of confidence that we need to win 4 games in a row. And if I had to put that loss down to one thing, it would probably the spot. I obviously want to reach for injuries straight away, but I just feel like when we let a couple of tries in, it opens the floodgates a little bit. I don't know what it is or whose fault it is. I just wonder, they get behind the sticks. Are they having a yarn? Are they pointing fingers?
What worries me is the stat that we have won 4 out of 9 at Mount Smart this year.
Yeah. One was a draw, wasn't it?
Yeah, one of the. So one was a draw, but so yeah, we've won.
I suppose you could call that 50-50 almost, couldn't you? If you were.
But that should be our fortress.
Yeah.
I worried about this at the beginning of the season. We don't maybe look quite as fit as some of the other teams. So maybe we need one hell of an off season.
Perhaps.
There's the elephant in the room of, are we going to re-sign Sean Johnson?
Yeah. I mean, he's been asked about that ad nauseum. He was
What's going to happen to Tohu Harris?
out for the rest of the season. Yeah. I really don't know with the Sean Johnson one. If I had to guess, I would say yes, he re-signs because he has been offered contracts from other clubs. And I don't think that no matter where you're at in your career, you ever turn down guaranteed money when it's in 6 figures, even if you got to tape yourself together.
Oh, because didn't the Tigers throw?
I think the Roosters as well.
Oh, the Roosters, yeah.
Both of them. So, I don't think it doesn't matter how much money you got. Someone offers you $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 a year. I think you just take it and figure it out.
And I think what hurts is you've got Dallin, who is Dally and winger of the year. You got Sean, who was the Dally of the
Yes.
year, to be honest, even
Yes.
though he got pipped at the post. They're both dipped in form.
Well, yeah.
Our attacking structure is different. I'd have to say Wade is maybe dipped in form, but he takes so much traffic in the middle. It's an interesting one, and it's a very rude awakening for Webby because he sort of had the golden start.
Yeah, I think because I was talking to my dad about it yesterday, and I was like, if I had to put my finger on one thing that was the difference between last year and this year, it is as simple as we essentially lost the Dally M Player of the Year. Sean Johnson should have won it last year. It was a clerical error that he didn't, and then he's just been injured all year. So it's through no fault of his own, but he has been playing with injury or been out with injury for this entire year. And I think if you take the best player in the competition off a team, I don't think it's that ridiculous to think they'd fall out of the top 4 down to 14th, you know?
Yeah, but look at the Broncos and Adam Reynolds.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because last year I think everyone thought that Webby's just Willy Wonka. That Webby was Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, you know?
Yeah.
That he was just this mythical guy. But now it's like, oh, he's at the grindstone.
No, now he's Willy Wonka in that tunnel where it just goes full acid trip.
Oh, harder.
And they're certainly not showing any signs that they are slowing. That's him right now. He's just in the middle of it. Everyone's injured. There's fucking trippy kaleidoscope effects going on.
Augustus Gloop, buddy. You got old Timmy TV or whatever his name is.
Yeah, that's right.
Out.
All of the different players that we've lost through injuries are the different children that died in the Wonka factory for various different reasons. And
also, man, if I went on a Chocolate Factory tour and there were that many deaths, you'd have to contact someone.
After the first.
You'd just have to maybe reach out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I could be convinced if the first person died and I was just like, hey, why think a kid just drowned in the chocolate river back there? And someone's like, nah, you'll be right. We'll keep going. After the second, definitely.
And a whole lot of tiny Donald Trumps just carried them off to another room.
Did you guys see that?
No, it's all good, man.
Did you guys fucking see that? So, yeah, the Warriors season has been Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory. We've only got Charlie. He's the only one left.
Yeah.
Charlie from the Chocolate Factory and his granddad.
And I feel for the club because we were hitting our strides. We're selling out every home game.
Yeah.
The game of league is popping off in New Zealand.
Big time.
But this is why we need to end strong.
Yes.
We probably could mathematically make the 8, but I don't think so. But I want us to end strong, go into Vegas, get a win over there, and reassert ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we can do that. And I think neither of us wanted to come in here today and have leave this podcast studio on a negative note. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're gonna outline exactly how we can do that, how we can turn it around. Not just for the end of this season, but how next year, if we're going to make next year our year, how do we do it?
Oh, also, just before we do go to this break, I really feel for Moala Graham Tolfa.
How?
Well, you're a young guy, you have a breakout game.
Oh, yeah.
Then I don't put it down to his fault. You know how sometimes you just have one of those games of something where you can't do any, every ball you drop.
Yeah.
I have it in cricket sometimes. I'm a great cat fielder, right?
Yeah.
But then sometimes I just cannot catch a ball. And he just had one of those ones where he was slightly out of position. He dropped the ball, gets stood up in a tackle, and then you just keep losing your confidence.
Because now you're second-guessing yourself.
Yeah, and that's the thing with these younger guys. They need you've got to have a good swag of games under you.
Yeah.
Before you just feel safe and first grade. Ali Leatawa's doing great.
He's excellent.
I really like how we've used Tane Tuapiki through the year, giving him time, but not going
win us the game.
The team's on your shoulders.
Although he did win us the game.
He won the magic round.
Yeah. No, you're right. And then the opposite side of that is how many wingers have we seen come through the Penrith Panthers thing and then just get signed by another team straight away.
And then they just bring another one up.
That's right.
And another one up.
And it's like, well, yeah, of course, because you don't fail when you're on the end of the Penrith
and
backline.
that's where I think Robbo wants to take the club, which is why, and look, we've got SG
Webby?
Ball.
You mean the owner?
The owner, bringing in all these teams,
Yeah.
So I think we've got the stocks, and let's talk about how we can come out of the blocks and win the Prem next year.
Let's take a quick breather. When we come back, we're gonna fill you with hope for 2025. All right, welcome back into the Mad Monday podcast. If you're keen to join the ACC team for a massive rugby league weekend in March of 2025 in Las Vegas, you can do that. Just text Vegas to 3236 to book your spot. You're heading over to Vegas, aren't you?
Yes, I'm over there with the Ha Hurley, the man. I'm going to be looking after a plane load of people.
That's a long flight.
Yeah. I've never done a 13-hour stand-up gig in a plane before. But
have you got 13 hours, you reckon?
Yeah.
It's got a tight 13 hours.
Just a tight 13 hours. I don't think they want to see much of me at the event we do when we land then. But yeah, we're taking a crew over. I reckon it's going to be phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
The hardest thing is, though, 4 games in one day is a lot.
Yep, it's 8 hours of rugby league. It's a good God's honest shift at the rugby league factory.
Yeah, I think I was talking to some people in the know, and I think our game's the second game.
Perfect.
Which is perfect. So you sort of cruise in and get a feel for the stadium, check the warm-up game.
Catch the second half of what we'll call a curtain raiser.
Yeah. And then I'd obviously want to watch the Panthers game. I think there's a Super League game.
Yeah, missed that.
Warrington Wolves play, the Ipswich Tallywhackers or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Gillaroos playing the English women's team.
Yeah, right.
And then the Panthers.
It's a carnival. Also, like, how do you approach it if you go too big on night one? Is that your night one?
Hey, where I'm intrigued is we're going the reverse to how I think a Vegas trip should be focused around an event.
How do you mean?
I think if you've got a specific event in Vegas, you have to almost walk off the plane to that event.
I agree, yes.
We're landing, having 3 days, then the game, then fly out the next day.
No, I'd be a husk.
A husk.
Yeah.
Because I almost think, right, you've got a bit of excitement on the plane. You sort of need to land, go and drop your bags, get into it.
Yeah, I think so too. Throw the bag at the back wall of the hotel room and straight into it.
Go out, party all day. That's obviously going to go into the night.
Yeah.
Go back to your hotel, reevaluate the decisions you made for about 10 hours, then get back into it in a more gentlemanly-like fashion.
Yes. I agree with you. I've heard the ACC trip's not going that way either, so they're going LA for a NBA game, then to Vegas. So again, Husk City by the time they get there. I agree with you. We should just go straight in there. Regardless.
There is going to be some steamed hams at that game.
Oh, my God. But what a way to start your season in what they call round 0 now over there in Las Vegas. I reckon after watching the first round in Las Vegas, it's not so much about growing the game in Las Vegas. It's more about growing the game here in Australasia because we love it, and it's a great place for us to go. But I think
it's just 40,000 Aussies and Kiwis in a different stadium.
Yeah.
And I mean, what I think this is going to, as we segue into how we're going to be awesome next year, I think this is actually going to be a great bonding experience for the team.
Yeah.
Because I think they're on the ground. One of the sort of, I suppose, requirements was that they stay in Vegas the whole time. So I think they're boots on the ground in Vegas for 10 days maybe.
Yeah.
So it'll be a great bonding experience.
Yeah. Hopefully we got some new signings, by then. And welcome to the club, fellas.
Yeah, and we'll see what young guys they take over. And
Yeah.
no, I think it's going to be good for the club.
Yes.
And it's going to be a great way to start.
Yeah.
And I'm so stoked we're playing the Raiders rather than the Panthers.
Oh, 100%, because it'll be so NRL of them to be like, hey, we're going to send you guys over to Las Vegas, but we're going to fuck you up with the Panthers.
Yeah,
in the
you've
first
either got to
round."
play the Panthers or the Storm.
Yeah, that's right. I really thought that's what they were going to do to us.
Because the Raiders is just a meh team for us.
Yeah.
We don't have a hoodoo against them or for them.
Yeah. I saw a comment on a Reddit thread this morning when I was scrolling around after that loss, and someone said they should send the Warriors to New Zealand. like get them out of Australia. It's like, fuck. Already out. But yes, next year.
My favourite Reddit comment I said put in our thread was, imagine being a single name motherfucker trying to get into the Warriors. It's outrageous how many, even the new guys like Mawala Graham Telfer.
Yeah. It is outrageous. But no, I've said for the longest time the best rugby league players come from broken homes, and that's why we've got such a great squad going at the moment. But I think, next year. So as we said before, the only signing that we've got confirmed so far is Fisher Harris. And I think that is the best signing that we possibly could have made in the rugby league. We're talking
On
before,
a lot of levels.
on many, many, many different levels. First of all, 3-time grand champion. So, we're talking about a guy who knows how to win competitions of rugby league. He is a Kiwi, and he's as Kiwi as they come.
And also, he personifies mana.
Yeah.
Like, he carries so much mana. You don't muck with Fisher Harris.
No.
Word is he's a real club man as well. Like, he demands high training. He'll probably not like pay out on the younger guys, but be such a good example.
Yeah.
And I think when you got people like him, RTS, Tohu, Kurt Capewell.
Who would you say has been our best player this year for the Warriors?
Mitch Barnett.
Mitch Barnett. And he is a man of great mana as well. Even though he's an Australian come over here to New Zealand, he's re-signed. He is the captain now that Tohu Harris is out. But even when Tohu was in there, you could tell he was the one that everyone looked to. So now you swap.
Because he's a talker.
Yes.
Where Tohu's not Tohu's a lead from the front.
Yeah. Lead by example. Has a great way with talking to the ref, which I think is why he's the captain.
I was at a arcade, right, with my kids, and this woman next to me goes, "There's Stephen Adams, man." And I was looking, and I went, "Oh, that's Tohu Harris." And then it was the first time I went, "Shit, they actually do. They give off similar vibes."
Yeah. Oh, they do look the same.
And Tohu's a tall dude.
Yeah. He's a big bastard. But yeah, no, you're right. That was the exact same note. The only note that I made, and how can we make next year our year, is high mana. This team needs to have an identity, and I think we had that last year, and I don't quite think we've had that this year. And I think it's about bringing in those guys like James Fisher Harris and what he can do because like you say, we've got this awesome crop of young fellas coming through. And so we just need to make sure that we have a team with a solid identity, because then even if we lose, or we finished next season in 14th place, if we can put our hand up and say, look, we had a team that had a clear identity that didn't go our way, then we can feel, good about the team. And I think that that's maybe what we're feeling right now, coming off the high of last year. We come into this year, lost our identity a little bit, and we're like, fuck, at least if we had fired some shots,
Oh, I know. Like, the identity thing, I think, is so crucial, because where we succeeded so much in 2023 was grind.
Yeah.
Every man played for their other man. We tackled our asses off. Our goal line defence was insane. Now I notice, I think we need to, harking back to another thing old Waz Up TV said, he's a good analyst, this dude. He just made a good point around, we do probably need some sort of attacking coaching flair put in, because last year we had, which I think was Justin Morgan, we had this big sweeping plays, so many dummy runners, short ball, long ball. Now I notice we just have a sweeping back line. We don't have such an intricate flow in the offense. And a lot of that is probably because we were fresh last year and teams did video on us. So I think we need a lot of reinvigoration. But why I'm excited about next year is it's not like, let's burn the club down and start again.
Nah. We're right there.
We just need... That's what I was saying before this Eels game. I was hoping the Eels game would be the game where we clicked.
Yeah.
And we just got into form.
Yeah.
So if Sean stays on, I just hope he works on his body, does what he needs to be at 100%, and can somehow add a couple of tricks to his game.
Yeah, or just dust a couple off. Because he's got them. You know, even when he went to Cronulla, he was the leading try assist player in the competition when he was over there. And last year he still had them. He was throwing not no-look passes. He was throwing passes to where he couldn't even see Chance. And he was throwing pinpoint passes to him as they were sweeping around. They had that right side clicking. And for whatever reason, they haven't this year. But we know that they can.
No,
it's
and
right there.
We're slightly relying on the short ball to Niokore a lot. So I think just a couple of tweaks.
Yeah.
And just a little bit of tweakage.
Yeah.
And we're going to be good to fly.
Yeah.
We've got Tane Tuapiki, who I think's almost at full first grade level.
Really?
Ali Leotawa's coming right.
Yep.
A lot of green shoots around Leka Halasima.
Oh, yeah.
Dimitrik Sifakula.
Even Tom Ale, we forget how young he is because he's been a, rotation player this year.
Yeah. Next year, I think we'll probably see a bit maybe of Pasakala or Setutu coming in around the wing.
Yeah. I like the guys that we've re-signed and Wade Egan. You talk about, obviously, Mitch Barnett. Yeah. I believe... Oh, no, I've lost it. But, yeah, just some of the guys that we're keeping on. You plug all of those dudes in. And the key with Mitch Barnett is... And this is no...
Luke Metcalf.
Oh, Luka Mikiafu, yeah, exactly.
Because
forget that he's been gone all season.
He's cool. When I saw him with his glasses on when we interviewed him,
yeah,
he's got a Clark Kent vibe, eh?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Great talker too.
Yeah, he's just like a buff Excel spreadsheet that scores tries.
That's exactly the scouting report on Luke Metcalf.
He had a cracking game in the New South Wales Cup.
I bet.
Tamari Martin did.
Yeah.
God, just as you think he can't get hotter, he's like
Martin.
a hard-out fisherman hunter dude as well.
Oh, I know. I've been saying this the longest time. He is whoever a New Zealand man thinks he is. When your confidence is at its highest, we all think that we're Luke Metcalf. You're like, you know what? If I wanted to, I could just go out, drag a pig out of the bush, and then go play halfback for the Warriors on the weekend.
Exactly.
And that's what he does.
And that thing of it's not like he's posing in front of a Ford F-150 with a AR-15 like some American Punisher. He's just on like a perfect stallion with a old school rifle and like a pig over the saddle.
Yeah, he's tremendous. So him around as well. I just feel like we're definitely starting to build a character of high mana players that I think once we can put that together next year and have a bit of pride in the country, we're a one club country. And I think that once we put a bit more of that mana in the jersey.
See, I reckon if we can get the mana between 90% and 100%, then we drizzle a bit of mouldy order, a bit of spirit and a bit of life force on there.
Yeah. We're
unstoppable.
I think we are unstoppable. So, look, that's how I think. I think if we were to tie a bow on that, it's the mana next year. It's about the mana, restoring the mana to the club, to the jersey.
And also...
It's there at the ground, by the way. Sorry.
Yeah, and look what a little bit of mana and belief's done for the Titans.
Yeah.
Also, why was Dan Carter and Tim Morrison in their changing rooms yesterday?
Could you come to Mount Smart?
I know, I was like... Well,
Tim, come on.
Yeah, come on, Tim.
What are we doing? Could have done with it. But yeah, putting the mana back in the jersey, I think that's the key.
He's a bold man looking at Tino... Faso Malawi, cook me some eggs. But he was giving him the full side eye.
You would, though, even if you're Tino. You get that frying pan screaming hot, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, we're there. I don't think we actually need to sign a huge amount of players.
No.
We just need to get all of our players back onto that 2023 year. I think this is, we might just have to go, let's forget about 2024, move into the preseason, And
it wasn't a bad year by Warriors standards. If we hadn't had the year that we had last year, this is Warriors' year.
Yeah.
But a good one, I would say.
We're 12th.
Yeah.
We've got a mathematical chance.
Yeah. Mathematical chance. All right, let's draw a line under it. We'll take one more break. Hopefully that filled you with a bit of confidence for 2025. When we come back, we are going to go through the stonker of the round. All right, welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast. The 4 and 24 pack prize pack is still going. Each month, the Mad Monday team are giving away 4 tickets to Warriors and 4 and 20 pie vouchers. To enter, just text the monthly keyword to 3236. Listen to the podcast apps to find out the new keyword each month. This month, because it is August, the keyword is game. So text game to 3236 to be in to win. But now it is time to talk about the best game of the weekend. It is the stonker of the round. And this weekend, Dai, the stonker had to be the Dogs versus the Raiders, 22 points to 18. I feel like the Dogs have found something in the last couple of weeks. I feel like they have clicked the way we've been waiting for the Warriors to click. They are playing, I described it this morning, as they're playing like the Fijian Drua of the NRL. They will attack you from fucking anywhere. They will spin it wide on the first in their own 20. They will just have a crack at anything. They're very exciting to watch. Addo Carr back on the weekend. They're going from strength to strength, the Dogs, aren't they?
If you'd told me the Dogs would be involved in a stonker of the round last year, no way.
They are back-to-back stonker of the round.
Yeah. I think Stephen Crichton is the best centre in the competition.
I agree.
His try, where he fended, then sort of bumped off Jordan Rapana, and then got over the line.
Yeah.
He makes really hard plays seem very easy.
Oh, he gave them both the business. Seb Chris and Rapana in the same play.
Rapana's a bit of a punisher, eh?
I don't know. What's your issue? You've had a go at Rapana before.
It's just, I sort of love him and hate him at the same time. He's hardcore grubby.
He looks like, I think we talked about it on the podcast last year, he looks like Waluigi, the evil Luigi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If Waluigi sort of mixed up with one of those Moai Easter Island statues.
Yeah, he's got a bit of that going on. But this game, like I said, that they've found something in the Bulldogs.
And when I was talking about the Warriors kicking game, then you see the opposite. Matt Burton, when you're kicking off your own 30 and he just lobs it down to their 10 metre.
Yeah.
His kicking, and also he can kick the ball so high, all the chasers have time to get down there.
Yeah, so you can contest from anywhere. The other thing that they were talking about in the commentary was he kicks it higher than the lights. So the lights at the ground that they were playing at last night, when he kicked it, it went above them. So for one mad moment, you lose track of the ball. It's just a shit show. I've seen one in the flesh, and it is terrifying. It's just pure chaos.
And it also has that weird wobble to it.
It can shift about 10 metres on its way down to you trying to catch it, and they know that. So as soon as that goes up, like every player on the field is like, fucking here we go.
And where I've got a lot of respect for the Dogs, beginning of the season, they built themselves on defence. Now they're just playing entertaining football.
And they force you to play the way that they play. When they were the stonker of the round last week against the Broncos were having to do chip and chases out of their own end because they just to try and compete with them. And so they drag you into a shit fight. I think what they've figured out, they seem to me like a PlayStation team. They traded all of the players in that they needed. They got the Fox, they got Burton, they got Crichton, they went and got Kickout, they brought Reid Marnie, they brought all these dudes in over the last 2 years. And it was always going to be a little bit clunky. But you could see Kiraz come out of nowhere. Now they got Bronson Sherry back from 4 years of rampant steroid abuse. And they, allegedly. And, but you
it's not allegedly. He actually was
reportedly alleged. But you could see on paper, all of the players, they had...
Oh, it's hard out PlayStation where they recruited
ratings.
All the people, then they used all their stats points on the average ones, like Kiraz, bring him up.
Yes, yeah. And then they maxed out certain things, like they took the Fox and they were like, we'll max out his speed rating. Matt Burton, we're just going to max out his hole running and spiral punt. And then, like, that's it. And then we're going to max out Reed Marnie's pissing people off ability.
And also how they, everyone was mocking them because they bought like 10 utility players.
Yeah.
But it's worked out perfectly. And shit, Viliami Kikau can put a shot on.
Yeah. Kid can play footy.
Yeah. But he does exactly what you need an enforcer to do. He scares the bejesus out of playmakers.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And not illegally, just hits them hard.
On offense and on defense, on both sides of the ball. And he had a really quiet year last year. But he is still Viliami Kikau, and there is no substitute for just having a dude that big with Maggi noodles for here.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying. It's frightening. There's no.
I sort of
no
get
two
a
ways about it.
sheepskin vibe as well.
Oh yeah, like an old sheepskin.
Yeah,
That's
a
sort
little
of gone-
raggedy sheepskin.
Yeah, like a yeah.
But I mean, it was the first time in a press conference I've seen Ricky Stewart actually just be. That was a pretty cool game
Yeah.
because the vibe was so hostile.
So yes, at the ground, it was a massive crowd. What is going on out there at Belmore?
So they have a traditionally very passionate. They've always had a heavy Lebanese fan base.
Mm-hmm.
You've had your Hazem Al Mazris, those sort of players. Anthony Mundine.
yeah.
Passionate fans,
Yeah.
you know? And outside of any country that people are from, all those Dogs fans are so passionate.
Yeah.
And it felt like I got heavy European football sort of vibes off that crowd. And then they were shaking a van after the
scenes afterwards, I thought, so they started doing the rounds on social media, the Pants Man's putting them in our group chat. I was looking at the videos and I was like, I thought that they were videos from back when Willie Mason and them were winning comps. No. This was from the weekend. I was like, what is going on? They're trying to flip a van over. They're just going apeshit apparently.
I expected SEAL Team 6 to come in at one point. It had a real downtown Kandahar sort of vibe about it, that anything could happen at any time.
Yeah, it was out of control, and it was just like our game in round 22, round 23. I was like, this is out of fucking control.
And
there's something going on there.
I would never say this before. I think the Dogs could be, you know how you pick a team you like in the finals?
Yeah.
The Dogs could be that team for me.
They are for me. Last week I was like, I've seen enough. They're my team. I'm following them. Obviously,
They just play a really enjoyable brand of football.
yeah, they have a crack. And, we were talking about what we want the Warriors to look like. This is always been it for me. Just a team that has a crack, win or lose. We fire some
Defend hard
shots.
out
Yeah.
and then play loose football.
Have a white-hot crack. You got Bronson Sherry chipping, chasing, and Jarrell Skelton coming out of absolutely nowhere.
That's technically how you think the Broncos would play,
Yeah.
but they sort of have been in a similar state to us.
Yeah, they've just picked a bunch, the Bulldogs, they've just picked a bunch of, footy players. And this year, they finally got to the point where they're just like, we trust you, go for it.
And if anyone wants to knock Gus Gould, I was a bit of a knocker.
Yeah.
They said he'd rebuild the club. He did a phenomenal job.
Knows a bit about rugby league football,
He does.
does Gus Gould.
He can analyse that kid.
Yeah, he can. I reckon he's got a big future in the game, that guy.
Yeah, I reckon. Even if he wasn't at the Dogs, I reckon another club would hire him.
I reckon they might.
Remember, he was at the Warriors for 2 months.
Well, just before lockdown.
Yeah, and then he got the gig at the Dogs.
Yeah, well, could have done with them. So that's our stonker of the round. Just before we knock this one on the head, I've got a random NRL stat to throw at you if I could. Congratulations to Isaiah Yongi on his winning debut. More importantly, becoming the first ever NRL player with the initials II. There's never been a player in the NRL with those initials. He becomes the first new initials of the year. And as noted by NRL Odd Stats on Instagram, it's an alliterative name, so II. He making it the 21st letter to be completed in the NRL.
Wow.
The only letters yet to be done, unsurprisingly, Q,
Yeah.
U, X, Y, and Z. He is the 6th alliterative name to debut this year, joining Samuel Stonestreet, Trent Toilau, Liam LeBlanc, Luke Laulili, and Harry Hayes this year. So congratulations. Stone Street.
It's a real honest name.
Good God's honest rugby league name. So yeah, I just wanted to share that one with you.
Well, that is a phenomenal stat.
Isn't it? Yeah. We need a QQ to get in there. I can't see it happening anytime soon. All right, that'll do us for this week in the Mad Monday podcast. We'll be back again on Thursday. Myself and Chris Key, who have not commentated a win together, we are commentating the Dolphins game this weekend. Sunday, 4 p.m. We break the curse. We'll see you then.
And Australia without rugby league is not Australia.